8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you are tuned into War Notes with your host. I am Paviel G, bringing you one uninterrupted briefing on today's most urgent global and national developments. Every day, and today, War Notes delivers breaking news and updates from the U.S. and around the world, featuring global protests, market meltdowns, extreme weather, trade shockwaves, and political definitions to help you understand it all. No breaks, just the facts you need. Today marks one of the largest anti Trump protests in U.S. history, known as the quote, hands off, end quote, protest. Rallies occurred in over 1,200 cities across all 50 states and internationally, drawing an estimated 3 to 5 million participants. Organized by more than 150 groups, including labor unions, women rights associations, and civil rights organizations, demonstrators across Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, and abroad demanded an end to Trump administration policies, tariffs, immigration crackdowns, funding cuts, data overreach, and more. Democratic leaders, including Bernie Sanders and Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, joined the mobilization. In financial markets, the S&P 500 has plunged $5 trillion in just 2 days, confirming a bear market as sweeping tariffs announced on April 2nd entered force. The Nasdaq dropped over 20% from its high, and the Dow suffered a sharp 5% loss as global investor confidence collapsed. China retaliated with steep tariffs as high as 34% on U.S. goods, raising fears of full foreign tariff spiral and possible global recession. On the weather front, a record breaking tornado and flood outbreak swept across the southern and midwestern U.S. from April 2nd to April 5th. Officials confirmed 156 tornadoes, winds up to 165 miles per hour, 24 deaths, and more than 47 injuries and over 300,000 power outages. Flash floods submerged communities from Kentucky to Arkansas, leaving thousands displaced. In trade developments, President Trump's Liberation Day tariffs began April 5th, a blanket 10% import duty on most goods, followed by country-specific levies up to 125% on Chinese imports. U.S. Customs began collecting the new duties at midnight. Economists warn that this radical shift may escalate further price inflation, hit consumers hard, and push the economy toward recession. Now, here are some definitions for my listeners that some people may not understand, you may not hear all the time, or whatever the case may be, and you might be confused. Well, when we talk about bear market, a market drop of 20% or more from recent highs, that is a bear market, is when there's a 20% market drop. Tariffs, if you're not sure what tariffs mean, you should know what tariffs mean at this point. However, if you are unsure, tariffs are government imposed taxes on imports intended to raise domestic prices. And ultimately, tariffs are taxes on the people. What are retaliatory tariffs? Well, when one country imposes duties in response to another's tariffs, that is retaliatory tariffs. Now, when you hear the saying bearish investor sentiments, that generally means general pessimism about future economic performance. Again, when you hear bearish investor sentiments, that just means general pessimism about future economic performance. Now, what I want you all to take away from today's programming is that there's a lot of mass protests going on across the U.S. and abroad. Largest anti-administration demonstration yet that's going on now. Stock markets are crashing. The S&P lost $5 trillion in just 2 days. The Nasdaq entered bear territory, and the Dow was corrected. Now, there's been a lot of devastating weather, of course. Tornadoes and floods have killed 24 and unleashed widespread damage across the South and Midwest. And trade war escalations still continue. New U.S. tariffs in force and global retaliation mounting, spiking inflation risk. Now that concludes today's War Notes dispatch. It's clear, continuous, and critical. And I am Paviel G. Please stay informed, stay alert, And if this content matters to you, please subscribe. I invite you to. And please like the video and share it if you wish to do so. We need your support to keep delivering these vital updates daily. Please stay strong and keep your dial tuned. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful and blessed day.